what's going on, you guys? You've reached Plant Based with Nicole podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Richey. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to interview Matt at Raw Intuition. I've been subscribed to his YouTube channel for years and recently started following him on Instagram. So I'm so excited to finally talk to him because you know how it is when you've been watching someone for years and then you finally get to meet them. So I'm so excited, you guys. But first, let me read his bio. Matt Bennett is a holistic health educator with a passionate focus on raw living foods and detoxification. Matt grew up with several common health issues, including asthma, eczema, dry skin, frequent congestion, and more. After discovering the concept of a whole food, plant-based, raw vegan diet and lifestyle in 2011, he witnessed the healing of virtually all of his childhood health conditions. Ha! Won't he do it? He now enjoys inspiring people to eat more raw fruits and vegetables through his books, social media, and his monthly newsletter at myrawintuition.com. So, without further ado, we're going to bring on Matt. Matt has already requested. Thank you guys that are here so far. Make sure you share this live with 5-10 of your friends. We want to reach people. We want to get the message out. We want everyone to know that there's hope. There's healing. It's all about that life. Okay, you guys, let me stop playing around. Yes, let's bring on my guest, Matt. Share the live, y'all. Can everybody hear me okay? Y'all can hear me. Give me a thumbs up or a heart or something. Hey!
Hey, what's up, Nicole? Nice to finally meet you.
Yes! Yes. And you've only known of me for a couple of months, but I've been knowing of you for like, I don't know, 5 years or so, maybe more. Who knows? How are you?
I'm honored.
And I'm honored as well. Thank you so much for coming on here to share your amazing story.
Oh,
You're such an inspiration. You know, all those comments I was receiving when we posted the flyer, everybody loves you.
Well, hey, what can I say? I appreciate the support, and I'm just, trying to share the message as best I can.
Yes, and that's what it's all about, sharing that message. You know, we don't have to slam things down people's throat, but we just want to plant a seed, you know?
Yep.
We just want to plant a seed. That's all, y'all. Anyway, thank you guys that are watching. We really appreciate you joining in today. Like I said, I'm excited to interview Matt. So we're going to go ahead and get on with it. So I know you've been eating raw since 2011. That's a long time. Congratulations on that. That's like, what, 12 years? Yeah. No, 11. I can't count right now, but that's a long time.
Yeah. 12 years in April.
Yes. And okay, so talk to me about like, what was your diet like before you turned to a raw vegan lifestyle? Like, how were you eating before?
Yeah, so pretty standard, pretty much standard American diet. My mom did try to, cook homemade meals, but it still a lot of times came from a box or a can. So yeah, there's a lot of animal products, pizza, fast food, microwave dinners, things like that, macaroni and cheese.
I remember those days.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, it was pretty standard, and my health reflected it. Like you said in the bio, thanks for sharing my bio and the kind words. But yeah, eczema, asthma, always, frequent colds, congested all the time, super dry skin, all these issues that went away once I figured out how to feed myself.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And there's hope. For anybody who is suffering with asthma, eczema, dry skin, any of the things he mentioned or the things I mentioned in his bio, there's hope for you guys. So yes, this is a new question that I came up with. I interviewed someone, or I asked someone this the other day, and I wanted to say, how has, you kind of touched on this, but how has raw veganism changed your life in general? And then I want you to dive into the healing, some specifics, like how long were you suffering with those ailments, and then like how long did it take to heal once you went raw vegan?
Yeah, great question. So how it has impacted my life, I mean, the health conditions, just the state of my body, for sure, those were major things, but the thing that really, probably the most impactful thing for me was my mindset. You know, it completely changed the way that I saw myself, how I spoke to myself, kind of it brought me out of more of a victim mindset into more of an empowerment, creative mindset.
Okay.
Where I realized that, you know, I have so much control over my life. I have so much control over, you know, the outcomes, the results that I receive. And it's not necessarily so much about the outside world. It's about, you know, what I do, what actions I take to, you know, do what I need to do to reach my goals, or, you know, whatever it is. So, you know, I did suffer, especially in my teenage years, with a lot of really toxic critical thinking. And so it was through a 10-day juice fast when I first got into this lifestyle. And those toxic thoughts and just like the self-critical kind of self-limiting beliefs that I had, they started to really kind of melt away. And that was really what opened my eyes. It was just like, you know, and it's not that I realized that I had toxic thinking at the time, but once I kind of cleared my head and I started to kind of clear out the junk out of my body, my mind started to work so much better. And I became aware of these thoughts and these patterns that I had. And I realized that I didn't want to think that way anymore. And so I was able to change it. So it really brought a lot more awareness into my life. And it allowed me to start seeing areas of my life that I wasn't happy with and that I wanted to change. And so it was the awareness. It was more of the, I call it like, you know, God's energy is in fruits and vegetables. You know, God puts his energy into, it's a loving energy. And when we take in the fruits and vegetables, we bring in more of that God consciousness, that God vibration, and we're able to receive and give love more freely that way. And so then we can start to be kinder to ourselves and of course kinder to others. So that's the mindset is probably my biggest thing, and what changed. And then of course the physical followed as well.
That's amazing. And I said this a few times that because when you're eating clean and you're eating those types of foods, your mind is so clear that you're able to feel connected and closer to God, and just because you don't have all the cluttered, you know, your mind is cluttered from all that junk you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
So when you're able to eat those types of foods, it clears your mind, you know. So I'm glad that you touched on, not only did it help you with your physical, but your mental as well. And it's so true. Yeah, I love hearing when I interview and I hear these amazing stories of healing, because like there's just so many people that suffer with so many diseases and ailments in their bodies. And, you know, it starts with what we're putting in our bodies, you know, and then in our minds as well, you know. Yeah. So thank you for touching on that. So you talked about your weight loss. You and I were chatting and you told me you initially lost 40 pounds, and that was probably a lot for you for your physique, right? And then you gained it back and you have maintained it. So talk about like when you first went, you lost so much weight. How did you look? Did people, you know, ridicule you? Was it unhealthy looking? And then how long did it take to gain some back? You know, how did that work?
Yeah. So like I mentioned when we were talking about, you know, I was into a lot more fasting at that point. I was doing a lot of juice fasting, water fasting, mono fruit islands and things like that. So I was really focused on more of the detox side of things. And so, yeah, I did initially lose, you know, somewhere around 40 pounds. And so I was really thin, which I understood, you know, I knew that was going to happen because I knew what I was doing. I was going to get sick, right. And I was willing to do that because I do believe that we do want to get rid of the toxicity before we can start building up. And, you know, we want to set a good foundation to build healthy tissue and just a healthy lifestyle upon. So I was in the mindset that I was going to just kind of clear out my body and then bring in the healing, you know, nourishing foods. And so, yeah, I mean, I did get comments from family and friends, you know, asking if I was okay. They thought maybe I was sick or something. But, you know, I just explained to them what I was doing. And for the most part, it wasn't, you know, they didn't give me too hard of a time. They understood that I was trying to get healthy and kind of change my life around. So yeah, I mean, I lost the weight pretty quickly, and it was without any sort of exercise at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think they need to exercise a lot to lose weight, but really the main thing is what we're eating. Because if we, you know, change the way we eat, we can get our body weight down to, you know, a very appropriate level. But yeah, with the fasting and everything, I got way down there. And then to build back up, you know, it was probably over the course of, I don't know, a couple of years maybe.
Oh,
where
wow.
Maybe not even that long.
It's that long?
I'd have to think about it. That's not really one that I've thought about before. Because honestly, it's never been about weight for me, you know, other than,
you weren't thinking about it.
Yeah, it was just kind of, it was just something that came along with, you know, the lifestyle. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe, it's hard to say. I'd have to think.
It's okay.
More about it.
It's okay. You were focused on health and detoxing and cleansing.
Yes.
So you weren't chipping off of that.
Exactly.
But just to tell you, if you did take 2 years, I kudos to you, because your girl can gain weight in 2 weeks. So, you know, because I can eat a lot.
Sure.
But but the point is, I'm glad that you were able to gain some of it back and then keep that consistency and just kind of maintaining a healthy weight for you, because you look great now. That's a perfect size and a perfect weight for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know if you said this already, forgive me, but how long did you say it took for the ailments to start going away after you started eating raw?
Oh God, it wasn't long at all. I mean, it was really even just after that first juice fast, which was 10 days. I was already breathing much clearer. My asthma was getting much better. My sleep, because insomnia was also one of the things that I struggled with pretty much my entire life up until 25 when I got into this lifestyle. And so, yeah, my sleep got so much better. My digestion got better. I was no longer getting, you know, congested, colds and flus. So, I mean, it was pretty quick. You know, probably as far as, you know, completely not experiencing any sort of asthma symptoms, you know, probably a few months, couple months, 6 months.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Again,
really good.
I wish I would have kept better, you know, documentation of some of these things, because it is kind of hard once you get so long past it. It's hard to go back and like remember exactly, but it was very quick.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And at the end of the day, the fact that you were healed from it, that's all that matters. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to read 2 questions from the question box. And if you guys have questions, put them in the question box, because when you comment, sometimes it goes fast and I can't see it all. Vegan Queen Cherie asks, do you fast on a norm? And then how do you get your omega-3s?
Yeah. So I don't fast nearly as much as I used to. You know, I feel like I'm at a pretty good spot right now where I'm kind of in a maintenance phase. So I fast, you know, sometimes I'll get into a stretch where I'll fast like 24 to 40 hours a week sometimes, and then I get away from it. So it's kind of hit or miss whether I'm fasting or not. But I think fasting is a great, you know, exercise, a practice to have as you know, for anybody, because it's really beneficial to many different systems in the body, including the gut. You know, so it can be a great practice to have as long as you don't get too overboard with it. And then for omega-3s, I eat a whole food plant-based diet. So omega-3s become much less of an issue, I believe, because once you get out the processed foods, which have all the oil, the vegetable oils and different types of oils in there, they're usually high omega-6, and you get rid of oils in general. You kind of bring your fat ratio, omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, back down into a manageable level. And then, I add a little bit of chia seeds usually to my morning smoothie. So that's where I get, I do that in the morning because the enzymes that work on converting the ALA into EPA and DHA, they work on the omega-6 fats too. So they convert both omega-3 and omega-6. And so I try to get omega-3 in first to give those enzymes a chance to convert some of that. And hopefully I get a better conversion rate. That's just a guess for me. I don't know if that's how it works, but that's just kind of what I do.
Thank you. Thank you for answering that. I also get omega-3s from, I use flax seeds and chia seeds, and sometimes walnuts, so those are some examples. Lion mane is a good substitute for omega-3s, and chia seeds are awesome, and oats milk. Okay. Thank you, Cherie, vegan queen, Cherie. Let's see. So I did a spontaneous interview the other day. Someone interviewed me spontaneously, and it was nice to be interviewed because I'm always the one doing the interviewing. But she asked me a question, and I wanted to ask you, what is the most, Dom's Vegan, I want to give her a shout out, Dom's Vegan asked me, and I'm asking this to you, what is the most memorable thing you've learned from all of the people that you have interviewed over time? She made me think too. I was like,
Yeah. That's a great question. Let's see. I think I would say that there's not one right way to do anything. So don't think that you have to formulate your diet exactly how I do or how Nicole does or how anybody does online. You have to look at it holistically and use a practical approach for what is, going to work for you and your circumstances, because we all have different circumstances. And so just seeing how a lot of different people can be successful doing it slightly differently shows that, there's room for tweaking to make it work the best for you.
That's well said. I like that answer. Thank you for sharing that. And the other question Dom's Vegan asked me that I liked, if you were to run into yourself, I'm going to go with 15 years. If you were to run into yourself 15 years ago, what would you tell yourself?
Yeah, that is a good question too. Let's see.
She was giving me these thought-provoking questions, and I was like, these are hard.
We're going deep.
They're not hard. It's just that it's hard to think of, on the spot sometimes, certain questions. You're like,
Yeah. All right. So I think what I would tell myself is to follow your intuition. That's kind of what I base my channel on. I have found that the more you follow your intuition, the better your results, the more happiness, the more fulfillment you're going to achieve, right? And it can be tough sometimes to go against what, maybe your brain is telling you is practical, and going with what your intuition is telling you to do, because it's not always the same thing, right? It's kind of difficult sometimes. So the more you can follow your intuition, generally, I think the better off we're going to be.
That's perfect. That goes so well with who you are, raw intuition. That was perfect.
Thank you.
Dom's Vegan says, LOL, work that brain. Yeah. She was the one that interviewed me the other day spontaneously, and it was so fun. Very cool. But anyway, okay, I'm going to steal a question that you asked Chris, the Raw Advantage. You said, what tips would you give to people that are struggling with different aspects of the lifestyle, the raw vegan lifestyle?
Yeah, can I steal his answer?
Yes, we are all about stealing up in this piece.
Yes, exactly. Well, let's see. So people that are struggling, I'll go with, my 3 Ps. This is what, I started off my book, 21 Day Raw Transformation Program with. Because I do think it's really important, and it can help people avoid running into a lot of the struggles that people run into. So I just call it the 3 Ps. It's practicality, patience, and persistence. All right. So first off, patience. It's so important to have patience when you get into this lifestyle. or any new thing that you're trying to do, right? It's not going to be perfect right away. It's going to, there's going to be a learning curve. You're going to have to figure out things, you're going to have mistakes, learning opportunities, I guess is a better way to put that. And so you just have to be patient. Don't expect everything to happen overnight, and, just enjoy the experience and learn as much as you can, and take the lessons from the challenges and move forward with that. And then persistence, again, kind of goes with the same line of reasoning. If you run into an issue, if it's a challenge, if you feel like you made a mistake, if you weren't perfect one day, use it as an opportunity to learn how to do things better, right? See where you could have done better, use that as, knowledge for moving forward, and just keep going. Because it's you're going to have challenges. There's no way around it.
Yes.
So, and then practicality, like I just kind of mentioned, it's not about replicating somebody else that you see online, because everybody has different situations. So don't think you have to be eating, half of your diet in mango or papaya if that's not a practical, fruit or some availability wise. Or even affordability wise for a lot of people, you just got to do the best you can with the situation that you're in. And don't think that you have to follow word for word what other people are doing.
Yes, I like that. You got to do what's best for you.
Yep.
You can take some of the things you've learned from other people and apply it, and then tweak and change as needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned challenges, and which was my next question. What types of challenges, or do you have challenges eating this way, this lifestyle, especially when it comes to attending your social events, gatherings, and traveling, things like that? Now, I just did a what I ate yesterday, and I was like on the go all day, and I showed everyone how I prepared so that I still was able to be successful eating raw, because I'm doing raw for 30.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, this is day 29.
Amazing.
One more day. But and I actually decided to add on another 15 days. But
awesome.
How do you go about that? And do you have any challenges?
So challenges, I mean, at this point, not really.
That's good.
In the beginning, it was a little challenging with, holidays, and just kind of learning how to navigate the holidays in the most comfortable way, because everybody has questions. Everybody's like wondering why you're not eating the same food as them, all these sorts of things. So I think the way that I have dealt with those sorts of challenges, whether it be holidays or just any social gathering with friends, first thing, I think it's so important to be confident in what you're doing, because if you're not confident in your beliefs, in your values, and what you're doing, it just makes it more difficult to get through some of those situations. And when people see that you're not as confident in it, they will kind of prod more, and they'll kind of want to instigate more kind of, arguments or whatever. So yeah, just be confident in how you're going into it, and also be educated with why you're doing what you're doing. You have to know why you're doing it, and to have a good solid foundation of education around the lifestyle and around nutrition. It's very helpful to help you be confident, one, and also to answer any questions that you have from other people. And then I like to tell people to know your FAQs, know the questions that are most frequently asked to people. So where do you get your protein? What about calcium? All that sort of stuff. And if you study the answers to those questions so that you know those answers, it can make the holidays and those social gatherings so much easier and so much less stressful, because you know how to answer those questions. And when people see that you know your stuff, they tend to just they let you be. So.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I hope that helped anyone who, who does have challenges trying to eat this way.
Yeah.
So I know you detox. Do you, how often do you detox, and what method, like, currently do you use now?
Well, I mean, detoxing, so when I first got into the lifestyle, I was doing, I learned about, in the beginning, I was learning a lot from Dr. Robert Morse. And so he uses herbal tinctures and capsules, powdered herbs and things to help with detox. So that's what I got into originally. And I think that can definitely be a route that people can take to help with the detox. But over time, I kind of got more away from the herbs as far as like tinctures and things. And I more focused on really paying attention to my eliminative pathways, which I also learned from Dr. Morse. So, knowing how to support your eliminative pathways is so important. So your skin, your lungs, your kidneys, your colon, and your bladder. Kidneys. Yeah. So, yeah. So you want to make sure, so all the pathways, the nasal mucosa is also one. You want to just make sure that all the pathways that the body releases toxins are not being inhibited, right? So that's, low protein diets. Everybody wants to eat a high protein diet. High protein and high fat seems to be the trend these days. And those, coagulate the fluids, the blood and the lymph. And they also, it's very high protein is difficult on the kidneys, clogs them up, really, especially if you're eating animal proteins and animal fats. And so also not putting lotions and creams and, synthetic chemicals onto the skin, because you don't want to clog that up and actually add in more toxins. Because when we put chemicals on our skin, they can be absorbed transdermally through the skin. And, that bypasses the normal kind of defense system of the body, which is through the gut and the microbiome. And so those chemicals can get absorbed right into the bloodstream. So being conscious of, what I'm putting on my skin, what I'm eating, staying hydrated, getting in plenty of antioxidants, because, oxidation is really the kind of the driver behind aging of the body. And so I just try to make sure I limit the things that oxidize my body, and I increase the amount of antioxidants in my diet through colorful fruits and vegetables. And then, air quality. I just try to make sure that the air quality in my home is good. I'm not around, a lot of different perfumes and, pesticides or anything like that. We actually live near a cornfield, so that is one thing that I'm not too happy about. But there's a lot of different things that we can do to help our body to detox.
Yeah.
And I mean, first thing, eating a high or a fully raw vegan diet full of hydrating fruits and vegetables is going to be a huge step that I think is a great place to start. But also, almost equally, I am really focused on the chemicals that we have in our life. So, and that goes with like laundry detergents and shampoos and body wash, all these things, that people can kind of look at in terms of toxicity and lowering toxic load.
So speaking of that, I'm going to ask you my question, and then Dom's Vegan also had a question. Where did it go? So my question first is, you mentioned about what we're putting on our skin and everything. Like, do you only use natural products, like for lotions and shampoos and things like that, or what you wash your face with? That's that question. And then I want to Dom's Vegan says, what is the biggest myth you've had to dispel? So answer my question first, and if you need me to repeat that second question, I'll do that.
Yeah. So, as far as chemicals and products go, I don't use any lotions at all anymore. No lotions. I'm very minimalistic when it comes to the chemicals that I take in, because, I mean, the thing that people usually don't recognize is that the chemicals in, you know, in all these different products that we use, a lot of them haven't been tested for safety, even within the product itself. Many times it's just the active ingredient that the company has to show has had safety testing, but there's adjuvants and other chemicals that are used in the product that don't have to technically be tested. But it's nothing, even if everything in that product was tested with each other, it's not tested. You know, the chemicals in our shampoo hasn't been tested with the chemicals in our makeup, hasn't been tested in combination with the chemicals in our laundry detergent, in the chemicals in our perfume, you know, so there's thousands of different chemicals that we are together, and chemicals have many times synergistic effects, and they act completely differently when they're put in combination with a different chemical than it does just on its own. So the toxicity could potentially increase, you know, by 100-fold, you know, hypothetically. So that's one thing that I like to remind people of, is that, you know, we are mixing all these different chemicals together in all the different products that we use, and there's really no studies that have ever been done on, you know, how they intermingle. So I think, you know, that's one of the things where people say, well, how do raw vegans still get sick? Because, you know, there's raw vegans that are still getting cancer. There's still raw vegans that are getting sick in other ways. I think that is one of the ways, is that a lot of raw vegans are still using a lot of different products with these chemicals in them. And, you know, these products are endocrine disruptors, so they affect our hormonal system, and our hormones are basically, you know, directing what happens in the body. So the hormones are super important. And if we start throwing those out of balance, then, you know, we can run into some issues. So that's why I'm so big on the chemicals. I just think not enough people are aware of how many chemicals they're exposing themselves to, and kind of the effects that can have. So
there's just like so much to consider. Like, it's like, gosh, well, you get one thing right now, so now you got to worry about what you're putting on your body. And I've heard all this so many times, but for some reason, while you're sitting here saying this, it's really making me think to myself, like, I need to go in my bathroom and just like, because, you know, I do use a lot of natural stuff. Like, I might use coconut oil instead of lotion, or you know, natural stuff for my hair. But I'm just like, I feel like I want to go and like go through everything, like even the cleaning products, everything. Like, something about what you're saying is like doing a light bulb right now. And then you're right about just how people, you know, they could be eating healthy, a raw vegan diet, and they're still getting ailments and sicknesses and stuff. And not just like what's in your household, the chemicals, but like outside in the air, you know, the fumes you're ingesting when you're driving, just all, you know, it's like some things we can't control, but we can control what we're putting on our bodies and in our mouths, you know, in our mouths. Did I say that? So yeah, you're making me like, it's a light bulb going on right now, you know, like, oh God, I need to like go through my cabinets and just go replace everything with all natural stuff. Before Garage Sounding says, in my experience, I think herbs are used as a natural painkiller. I used the stomach and bowel herb when I had a huge headache, and it stopped within an hour. That's good.
Cool. Yeah.
That something natural helped you.
Yep.
That's good.
And I'm not against herbs at all. I think, you know, the only reason I just don't know that it's 100% necessary, because I look around and I see people healing on many different, you know, McDougall's program, Esselstyn's program, and they don't use herbs. So my thought was that I'm sure they're beneficial, But if you don't need them, then I would rather help people do it without needing, without it. But if they want to do it, if they want to do it, I support that. And again, I'm still honestly kind of determining my final, I'm still determining kind of my stance with the herbs. But at this point, I haven't been using them, and I've still been getting good results. So,
yeah, that's good. Yep. Now let me go back to Dom's question. Dom's vegan .ep says, what is the biggest myth you've had to dispel?
Well, I think the biggest myth would be that you have to follow a raw vegan diet perfectly in order to be healthy. I have, over the years, I have just, as much as my mind believes that 100% raw is the best way to eat, because I do believe that. I do believe we are meant to eat raw. Every other animal on the planet eats raw, and we're the sickest ones, and we're eating the cooked food, and we're doing a lot of other things too. But I do think that raw is likely the best way to do it, but you don't have to be all raw. I mean, it's so obvious to me, and it kind of bugs me that more people don't acknowledge this, because I mean, I was just watching Chef AJ yesterday, and she had a 99-year-old doctor on, and he's still very healthy, still drives, does all the, he still does every daily activity that he's always done. And he's not fully raw, and there was the Dr. Wareheim, I think. He was like 105, and, these guys are vegan / plant-based, but they're not 100% raw. And I see so many very healthy, older, just whole food, plant-based, cooked and raw vegans that live very long, healthy lives. And to be honest, I just don't see, I feel like I need to see more 100% raw vegans outliving these people in order for me to start saying that you got to be 100% raw if you want to get the best results. Because to be honest, I haven't seen it in, the evidence that I've been seeing, but that doesn't mean I don't think that raw isn't the best. It's just that I don't think you have to be 100% in order to get just as good of results. So.
Exactly. Well said. I appreciate you saying that. Who's your biggest inspiration in the raw vegan community?
Wow, who is the biggest inspiration? That is a great question. I mean, there's so many.
I know.
There's so many.
It's really hard to narrow it down.
It is. Wow. Let's see.
Okay, just give me a few. You don't have to narrow it down to one. Give me a few of your top inspirations.
Okay. Well, I mean, I gotta go with the top 3 guys that started me out. First of all, that was Dr. Robert Morse. I mean, I still enjoy listening to his videos, and I'm still learning from him. Dan McDonald and John Kohler. So Dan McDonald, the Life Regenerator, and John Kohler over at OK Raw, and Growing Your Greens. So those are the 3 guys that really set the foundation for my education and kind of my introduction into the lifestyle. And I still follow them all today, and I still enjoy, learning from them. And so, I mean, there's so many others though now over the 12 years that I've been learning from, and they're not even necessarily raw, like Dr. Will Tuttle is one of my biggest inspirations.
Never heard of.
Oh, okay. He wrote the World Peace Diet.
Oh,
have you heard of that?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And I think he's actually just about to publish a new book as well. But he's been one of my biggest inspirations. So
well, there's
a lot.
Amazing. Those are amazing. What's the guy you mentioned? John
Kohler.
Is that the one? His energy I've been subscribed to him for a while. I think that's the right person. Every time I see him, I always think, I can't imagine him getting mad. He's just always so, hey, everybody, look.
Yeah.
You know, I love it, though. It's cute. I don't want to go, I want to give you some time to talk about some big things in your life that you're doing. You're an author of 3 books or 2. I think 21-day raw transformation program and 5-star digestion. Is there another one I'm missing?
Yeah. So I've got 21-day raw transformation program.
Yes, that's.
Yep. 5-star digestion.
Yes, I love them.
And then I have a children's book. You have 1 second?
Oh, that's so cute. You guys, I'm getting emotional. He's making books for the children.
So, I published this in 2017. It's called Vegan Adventures with Barnyard Friends.
Oh.
And so I did all the illustrations. It's got mazes and
so
word finds and crossword puzzles and things. So yeah,
awesome.
This was my first book that I published. It's only on my website, myrawintuition.com. It's not on Amazon, but these 2 are on Amazon. And I'm actually working on right now. I'm working on not a new book. I'm reworking my 5-star salad mastery book. And so the book that kind of explains the importance of including leafy greens in the diet and how to do that. That's kind of what that's my next project that I'm going to hopefully have ready to publish here in the next couple months. But I've got several other books that I'm planning to write here in the near future. So
you got it going on.
That's kind of keeping me busy.
Yeah, you guys check out his bio, and his website is in his bio. Go to his website, check out all his books. He's doing things, y'all. He gonna get so big he gonna forget about us little people. No.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. And then you also have a course. You and Jeanette have a course now. Is this a 6-week course, right?
Yeah. So is
this something you're gonna do often, or was it just a one-time thing? Or
yeah, it was.
Talk to me about that.
It was just a one-time thing. We just kind of did it to kind of get our feet wet with teaching group coaching. Jeanette is actually continuing to hold. She kind of went in the direction of helping women with food addiction, and so she is currently, I believe, working on launching a new course herself. And then I'm potentially going to continue with group coaching programs in the future, but I want to get some of these books written first. So I'm juggling a bunch of different things that I'm still trying to organize in my life. So, but yeah, we did the course and it was incredible. I mean, the women it was all women. They were all amazing. And so, we got great feedback and people really loved the course.
Yeah.
So
Miss Veganette, one of my boos,
yeah,
she was in it.
Yeah, she was. Yep. Shawnette is amazing. And so, yeah, I mean, everybody in the course did so well. And there was a lot of really great connections made. And, I think it was a successful course. So I am looking forward to getting that going again in the future. Yeah. I'm just not sure when I'll start doing that again.
I definitely encourage you guys to keep doing that. Maybe a once a year thing or once every 6 months or so.
Yeah.
If you have such a good turnout and a lot of success, it's definitely something you should keep doing.
Sure.
Because you're doing something good,
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you so much, Matt. This was very great. I hope everybody was inspired like I was. He gave us a lot of great information. Make sure you guys share this live because, again, it's all about reaching everybody, getting that message out there. And I just love bringing people on my show to talk to them and everybody has a different story. So I appreciate your story. I appreciate what you're doing. And you're doing a great job. Congrats to all your books and the ones of it that are to come.
Thank you so much.
You guys make sure you, right now, if you're not already, go to raw into at, what is it? The raw or at, what is it? At Raw Intuition? Sorry.
Yeah. So social media, it's just Raw Intuition.
Yeah.
And then my website is myrawintuition.com.
Okay.
Somebody already took Raw Intuition, so I had to go with My Raw Intuition.
Oh, dang it.
I know.
So I'm going to post this live, you guys. So it'll be in the comments. So you can just click on his name, Raw Intuition, go to his bio, check out his website, support him, and share this live, you guys. Thank you all that joined, and we'll watch this later. Matt, you're wonderful. I'm so glad I was finally able to meet you again. You've only known of me for a couple of months, I think, since I've interviewed Jeanette, but I've been knowing of you for years. So it's always nice for me to finally meet someone that I've been following. Well, I was following you on YouTube, but you know what I mean? It's like, I've been watching your face all these years, and now, you know, now you're on here talking to me. So it's always like so cool to meet people that that have inspired me over the years. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. It was truly an honor. I loved our chat. So anytime you want to jump back on, just let me know.
For sure, definitely. You guys, up next. Okay, so let me just say this. So I had my February booked, okay, but my next guest for next week did not respond when I confirmed. So I don't know who my guest is going to be next week. It might just not be any show, or I might have to find a replacement. So just stay looking at my page for the flyer announcing the guest. I'm looking for a replacement at this time. Okay. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
You as well. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Thank you, everybody. See you next time. Mwah. Mwah. Bye, everybody.